I know that you are a member of AZREIA and you grew up through AZREIA. So how did AZREIA kind of help you, and how can REIAs help people that's getting started?
When I first started off, in wholesaling, I tried to go to as many meetups as possible. And one of the first ones I went to was actually AZREIA. And that's actually where I met Mike, So I started off going to their monthly event about real estate, the market, that type of, and then I attended one of the subgroups, which was a beginners, investors / like wholesaler group. And I connected with Mike and I started wholesaling with Mike, essentially. But I think that's one of the best resources, honestly, any AZREIA in the country to go to if you're interested in real estate investing, not just for, the knowledge, but, you make great connections with people. You can get deals, do deals. It's just a great resource for sure.
You're listening to the AZREIA Show. If you're looking for quality real estate investing information that you can trust, you've found it. Stay tuned and join the tens of thousands of members that have already benefited from AZREIA, your home for education, market information, support, and networking opportunities that will advance your real estate investing career.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, AZREIA family, whatever time of the day that you're listening to this episode. We want to welcome you to another episode of the AZREIA Show. I'm Marcus Maloney, and I have my co-host, Mike Del Preet. What's up, Mike?
What's up? What's up?
Today, we have Manny Simeus on with us, and we're going to be talking about fixing and flipping. He's doing deals here in the Valley, and we just wanted to get his perspective on what's going on with his deals in the market. As you already know, or maybe you don't know, we did a piece on him, following him on YouTube through his flip that he was doing in Mesa. So if you haven't seen that, go back to the AZREIA YouTube channel. Just put AZREIA in a search for YouTube and you'll find his episodes. And we walked through his flip from the beginning when he first purchased it all the way through to the end where he was done and ready to put it on the market. So right now, we are excited to talk about fix and flipping. So let me get Manny's perspective. Manny, kind of introduce yourself, man, and tell us who you are. But before we do that, I need to hear a brief word from our executive director of AZREIA, Mike Del Preet.
Thank you, everybody, for being on and listening to our 24th-ish episode. We're getting up there.
Yeah, still early in the game, man, but we're making it down the road.
Yeah, we're getting up there, starting to gain some traction. So more and more members are listening, more and more people from around the state are listening. So we appreciate everyone, chiming in every week and taking a listen to what we have to say. So let's get started with Manny.
All right, Manny.
Jump right in.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. My name is Manny. I'm a full-time real estate investor now. I've been real estate investing since 2017. I've done around 40 deals that includes, fix and flips, rentals, and wholesaling.
Okay. So 2017, so about 5 years. Tell us about that start, man, because there's quite a few people in AZREIA that's either looking to start or transitioning from a career and want to get into real estate full time. How did that start happen? Because, a lot of people, that's what they say. I want to go full time, but I just don't know how to do it. How did you do it? And what did you do before real estate?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So before I started this, I was actually in IT. I did desktop support. I was doing some coding, like back-end stuff, SQL. But, I was always a guy who liked doing side hustles. So, I always, I would like drive for Uber or Lyft or, do a DoorDash type of thing just to have extra money, So it was a combination of two things, really. It was looking for a side hustle. That's how I found wholesaling on like YouTube, right? And then I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which, it talked about real estate, but that's more of like a mindset book. But it definitely got me in the right mindset to get into real estate, and kind of start there. So,
well, we all know Robert Kiyosaki here, based in Scottsdale, has changed a lot of lives with that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and we definitely thank him for that. But we do have an advocate of our own, Alan Langston, and he created AZREIA. And I know that you are a member of AZREIA and you grew up through AZREIA. So how did AZREIA kind of help you, and how can REIAs help people that's getting started?
Oh yeah, for sure. So when I first started off, in wholesaling, I tried to go to as many meetups as possible. And one of the first ones I went to was actually AZREIA. And that's actually where I met Mike, So I started off going to their monthly event about real estate, the market, that type of, and then I attended one of the subgroups, which was a beginners, investors / like wholesaler group. And I connected with Mike and I started wholesaling with Mike essentially. But I think that's one of the best resources, honestly, any AZREIA in the country to go to if you're interested in real estate investing, not just for, the knowledge, but, you make great connections with people. You can get deals, do deals. It's just a great resource for sure.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So Manny, we go back a little bit. So you were you like working with another investor, like at first, and you start get some basics from them, or what? How'd you get involved with that?
All of it was really in the beginning, like YouTube, university, just learning through that, avenue. And then when I met you, I kind of learned like the real hardcore like details of like how to do wholesaling. But I did, once I was working with you, I would say about 9 months in, I had a buddy who, I was talking to about real estate investing that actually wanted to do it. And then when he saw that I was doing it, we decided to partner. And that's really how I pivoted into the fix and flip realm. And
was so what made you go from wholesaling?
A lot of it was, you see the HGTV shows, the before and afters, and it's always like really appealing to, go and do that. And, I saw like you can make a pretty good amount of money doing that if you're buying the property right and, you're sticking to your budget and all that. So we started off with our first house was actually in South Mountain. So 21-day flip. We got in and out. It was really good, and we made about 40K on it. And then
real quick. So how'd you find it?
Yeah, so I found it through an investor-friendly brokerage that would just send deals, and it was pretty detailed. So they would send you a packet, essentially of the deals that have been closed. The purchase price, they actually provided contractors if you did a deal with them, which is very, I think, kind of helpful if, you're first getting in and you don't know anything about that. And then, they told you the ARV and everything. Obviously, you have to do your own due diligence and everything, but there was a pretty good resource. So I used them for the first couple of flips that I did.
Okay,
nice.
Perfect. So you got that flip under your belt, but let's kind of go back, and because we don't want to gloss over you going from no-time real estate investor to full-time real estate investor. But I know that there was some part-time real estate investing in there in the beginning. So how did you get started with that first deal? What did that look like? How did you have the gall to jump out there and do that first deal? Because we have a lot of people that's on the sideline and they're saying, well, I can't because I don't know this, I don't know that, I don't have a contractor. They make a lot of, no fault of their own, because the unknowns are out there. There's a lot of excuses. How did you overcome all of that just to get out there and just get started?
Yeah, so you're referring to my first fix and flip right now, wholesale deal.
First deal, period.
Okay, yeah. So from my first deal period, going back to, the YouTube university stuff, I was learning, the different strategies for wholesaling. I essentially took the driving for dollars to heart. So I just started driving outside of, my job. I would just drive around at night on the weekends and look for, houses that were boarded up, houses that had tall weeds, anything that showed any sign of a distressed property, right? And then you can go and skip trace that information and call the seller and go from there. And that's essentially what I did. In the first deal I got, I made $10,000, and it was, off a boarded up house in, South Phoenix.
So how did you know how to run comps? Where did you get the contract from? Because I'm trying to eliminate all of these excuses that people have. And like I said, no fault of their own, but those are just some mental roadblocks that people set up for themselves. They hear, okay, 5 years later, Manny is doing flips, but what was that initial thing that you had to get over in order to really get started?
Yeah, so, in the aspect of the wholesaling side, when I got the contract, I literally just Googled real estate contract, right? And then you have a regular realtor contract. And then I saw a whole bunch of templates for what I was looking for. And, I just edited based according to what my situation was. And I provided that with the seller. Now, you might think a lot of people might think, I need the perfect contract or whatever. A lot of times these people in distressed situations just want to be done with that. And, if the contract isn't perfect, it's okay. When you take it to your title company, if anything needs to be changed, they can be a good resource to help you with that too. So
perfect.
So you got that deal, got the wholesale deal. So Marcus, you want to jump back into the flip? I want to go back into
yeah.
Cover what you needed to cover.
I just wanted to get the baseline of how Manny went from no time investor to closing that first deal. Now we can go on to the fix and flip. Sure.
So you got your first flip. You got it from. So you leveraged the resources of this company that provides deals, analyzation, contractors, all that stuff. I'm assuming when you first saw all their numbers, because I know some of these companies might fluff a little bit. Were they spot on, or what was you and your partner's comparison to their numbers?
Yeah, so to kind of go from the end of your question backwards, like, so my business partner that I had initially flipping, he didn't have really any experience in real estate. So he provided the capital, and I was doing all the research, and managing the project. So, like you said, yeah, some of these companies or some wholesalers will inflate numbers for like what the ARV, would be or whatnot. But I was basically using, because I didn't have, access to the MLS at that point. Redfin was a pretty good resource from what I had researched, and I was just comping based on like what had sold in that area off of Redfin, in the past 3 or 6 months or whatever. And, when we did flip it and we did sell it, their numbers versus my numbers, they were almost exact. So
good. Awesome. That's good to hear. So did you do a home inspection, or do you just have the GC check everything?
The hard money lender that I used in the beginning, they had a resource, someone on their team who had flipped a bunch of properties. And I actually went to him and said, can you meet me at this property to give me an idea of like what you think, in your opinion, would be, the total cost for the rehab, right? And then I had a contractor to come in there and give me his idea. So I could have multiple eyes, right? Just to kind of get an idea of what like a pretty solid number would be for the rehab.
Got it. And did you, so that was probably your first hard money transaction, borrowing money from somebody, right? Yep. So, did they question anything about your skills? Did they ask for proof of anything, or was it pretty easy? Just put the money down and the numbers look right. Let's go.
So that whole process was pretty interesting, actually. When I was looking for hard money lenders, when we first started, I actually used my title company as a resource, and she provided a list of hard money lenders. And then I asked them a bunch of questions. I actually sat down with a couple of them for lunch and went over it. And I finally decided on the one that I used, Boomerang Capital, David Nielsen.
Okay.
They just seemed like the best fit for me. And I told them, I was like, I'm brand new, I'm trying to get into fix and flip and that type of thing. And I sent them all the details of that flip that I was going to do. And, they looked it over and said, this looks good. So then they gave it a shot,
Okay. Quick question.
Awesome.
Quick question. So let's put this into perspective. So you had the deal first before you had the money?
Yes.
Okay. I hope you guys hear that. And I hope you guys take that to heart. Everybody thinks that, well, I got to have the money before I can go out there and find a deal. Manny is living proof right here that he went out and found a deal, and then he went and found the money. So don't let money be a hindrance and stop you from getting out there, finding deals and doing what you need to do, because the money will come, but you got to have the deal.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was going to say on top of what you said. If you have a deal, you'd be surprised how easy it is to get the money for the deal.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. And so any tips or anything you want to share? Because we're talking about the first part of your first fix and flip, so from acquisition, running numbers, right, getting the money and all that, any tips or anything you do differently again, or you started doing differently?
I would say the biggest thing, and we could do a whole episode about this, but the way I would vet contractors is probably the only thing I would really change from what I did. Because
what would you?
We could go into this, but I had one rehab where we almost lost everything and it was super stressful, and it was because I didn't vet the contractor properly, for sure. So. And
what did you find out about that contractor?
Yeah, so it was a contractor that I had used for a handful of previous flips, and it went well, but it was like a higher end flip. And this guy, if you go into if you decide to start off in the lower end and then go into the higher end, you should definitely get a contractor who has experience with the higher end stuff, because there's a lot more factors that you have to take into account for sure than you do for just like a first time homeowner house.
Mm-hmm.
So, with this particular situation, because I had done other flips with him, I just assumed that this guy could take on a project like this, and he didn't have the ability to do so. And, he started just making excuses and giving me the runaround. And it just started going downhill from there. So. Okay.
Was it the quality of work, or was it the speed?
It was like everything, man. It was everything. work, it was the speed, it was the communication, it was literally everything.
Okay, so make sure you vet your contractors, guys. Take that tidbit from Manny. Manny, you're giving us some good stuff here, man. So you're doing this flip, and you're into it. Did you run into any issues in that first flip to where you were like, man, what did I get myself into?
So the first flip, no, that one went like literally flawless. It was like I would say advanced cosmetic rehab. 21 days, we put it on the market. And then, we got an offer in 8 days and it closed. They didn't fall out or anything like that. So, starting off like that, we're like, oh man, this is going to be easy. This is going, right? And then we did a couple more, and then we got to that one that was the problem child. And, I learned a lot. And,
the problem child though was the luxury one.
Yeah.
So you went from starter home to luxury.
Yeah, so I did a starter home, I did another home, then a mobile home, and then we did that one because the previous three went super well, no issues. So we said, why not do this one? This one has a bigger spread, right?
So the lesson was you jumped from standard starter type projects to luxury, which is fine. And then the vetting of that type of contractor to do luxury was the issue.
Right, 100%.
Got it. Awesome.
Okay. Well, let's take a brief break, hear a word from our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to dig into more with Manny about how he's currently finding deals, how he transitioned from the previous contractor to finding a new contractor and what's next for Manny. So let's take a brief break. When we come back, we'll be back with Manny Simeus.
Do you need to close more deals? The answer is, then you need to call more motivated sellers. How do you do this? Skip tracing. Skip tracing gives you the access to the telephone numbers and email addresses of distressed property owners all across the country. Whether you're looking for vacant houses, foreclosed houses, tax delinquent properties, skip tracing can help you get in touch with those hard to find homeowners so you can write those offers. We recommend batchskiptracing.com. Batch skip tracing has consistently delivered the highest quality results in the real estate industry. You simply upload your leads to batchskiptracing.com, apply coupon code AZREIA, that's AZREIA, at checkout, and receive 15-cent skip traces. That's batchskiptracing.com, apply coupon code AZREIA at checkout for 15-cent skip traces.
All right, Manny. So you were talking about that jump from traditional standard entry-level flip to now something more luxurious. First of all, why did you decide to jump from standard grassroots flip to something more luxurious?
Right. So like I was saying before, we had done 3 flips and they went flawlessly. And we're like, all right, this is easy. The contractors doing everything, they're communicating, we're making money, making, what we thought we would make or more on every project. So an agent that I had met at a meetup actually bought me this, high-end property in North Scottsdale. And I ran numbers and the numbers made sense, and, it would be a 6-figure flip. So we're like, we have this contractor, we've had no issues before, all these other flips have been profitable. Like, why not go for this one? It just makes sense to us. So.
Okay. Yeah. So 6-figure flip, what all needed to be done in that property to get it where it needed to be? And do you remember the numbers at the time?
Yes, I do remember the numbers, and it was a lot. So we had basically said it was going to be right around 80K. So this was a pretty big house. It was a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,800 square foot house. And people were going through a divorce, and it'd been trashed. They had animals. It smelled really bad. It was basically like a full gut almost, right? So, we had talked to the contractor. We agreed on the price and everything. And, we got, I would say, like 3 months in, and then this guy started making excuses. He was supposed to order like all the new windows. They weren't coming in. He was giving me the runaround. The quality of work that he was doing was just very questionable. And then, he just started like ignoring my calls. Wasn't showing up to the job site when I would just go in there and check in on him. So it was a mess. It was supposed to be 4 months, but it ended up being 13 months total.
Wow.
And you got to think about this too. So this is a $600,000 house, excuse me, when we purchased it, right? With a hard money loan. And, the hard money loans are close to, $6,000 a month. So it was 6 figures of just holding that property for the loan. So it was very stressful.
So you went from a 4-month timeline to a 14-month timeline. So that's $60K additional and holding cost. How were you able to eat that, you know, with this only being like your fourth or fifth flip?
I would say, and I can attribute this to my hard money lender, they were very helpful with the whole process, and they understood like what I was going through. I was very communicative with them. So they helped me out throughout the process. When, you know, we ran out of the rehab budget, they gave us more. We did a BPO, which is a, you know,
Broker price option. Okay.
Yeah, so they reassessed it, and, you know, based on while we were holding it 6 months in, it appreciated. It's like right when COVID started, and they were able to, you know, give us the funds that we needed to, you know, finish the property. Once we put it on the market, it was like 20 days before we got full asking price for it.
Okay.
Was that Boomerang as well?
Yep.
Yeah, that was Boomerang as well.
Wow.
I just want to give a shout out to David and Boomerang, man. They're always taking care of our members. And during COVID, all this was happening.
Yeah.
Were you sweating a little bit?
Just a little bit, losing a little bit of sleep.
Yes, guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, you're
Wow.
taking on a $600,000 flip, you know, plus you're putting, you know, another 80 into it. It's your first big flip, and COVID hit. So yeah, I can imagine you was sweating a little bit, Manny.
All that, and you negotiated David on that Missouri property.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Love it. Gotta love it. Awesome. Cool, man. So, all right, tell us more about this. So you're in the middle of COVID, you're sweating a little bit, right? Losing a little bit of sleep. Key thing you said, communicate, right? I was even talking to my son about that this morning with his basketball coach and changing schedules. It's like, you just got to communicate, show him you want to be there, show him you're serious. That's what you did, right? So you communicated, you handled up the money situation. So you found the new contractor, and you guys just, anything else, just rolled it out and just finished off the project.
Wait. Hold on, Manny. Because we can't gloss over that, Mike. How did you transition to contractors? Where did you get that new contractor from? Because
we're in COVID, right? Now you can't leave your house.
Right.
Well, you can, but the situation.
Real estate people, like, you know, what was the term that they used? You know, essential workers.
Essential.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we could go out there and do stuff, and same thing with the contractor. So I was still able to meet contractors out there. I was getting bids from like handyman and whatnot, anyone I could find to finish the property. And, you know, I found a handyman who, you know, was able to do it, and he did some of it okay, and some of it was bad. And, you know, I had like four or five different people come in and out to fix the stuff that the previous contractor, you know, had messed up. So
wow.
We're hemorrhaging money at this point, and we just want it to be done. But we finally finish it, you know, 13 months in. It's funny how I found this contractor to help me finish everything. Because this was going so horribly wrong, and I realized I really didn't know anything about the construction side, I said to myself, I can't let this happen again. So I need to like project manage, or, you know, work with someone who has a ton of experience, so I, you know, can learn every aspect, the cost of material, the cost of labor for every aspect of a, you know, essentially a gut. So I actually had met, you know, Tempe at a meetup, Templeton Walker, and he had posted on Instagram about one of his friends who had a ton of experience, you know, on that side, on the construction side of thing. He had 15 years of experience, done over 100 rehabs. So I reached out to him about that, and, you know, we connected, and I ended up working with him. And that was like right towards the latter part of the project. So I took him to the project, asked him if he could help me. And then he helped me with the latter part of the project. So that's really how we ended up finishing up the project strong, essentially.
Awesome, man. So once again, social media, right? Just seeing what people are posting is a great way to find resources and do more deals. So wrap up some of the conclusions on the deal, maybe some final numbers? Did you guys do what you really wanted, get what you wanted to get, or was it?
Yeah, so like I was saying, we purchased at 600. You know, it had appreciated about 100,000 when we initially, you know, ran numbers. We were thinking we'd get like 900 to 950. We thought we would be, you know, 75 in fully for the rehab. It ended up being like 125. But, you know, when it was all said and done, we ended up selling for just under $1 million. It was like 980. And we ended up making like 20 or 30K. But, you know, we thought we were going to lose everything. So that was a win to us. And we were just happy to be done with that project. So.
Wow. So you had elevated holding costs because you hold it for 10 months longer than you anticipated. You had elevated construction costs from 75 to 120. So man, thank God for appreciation, huh?
And just learning lesson for future listeners and listeners, right now is the time where this is happening, right? And roll with it, take advantage of it. However, as your career goes forward, it's not always going to be able to save you like that. Appreciation saved me in the past recently. So it's like one day there's not going to be that. So technically you could, if the appreciation was a standard market, slow, normal, whatever, right, you would have lost.
Oh yeah.
You would have got, so get your fundamentals straight, right? Run your numbers, your contractors, throw some tips on that, Manny, for us, Marcus, like, right. What are some things if appreciation wasn't there, or going forward on all your deals, regardless of appreciation, you should be running it pretty solid.
For sure. And you should never bank on appreciation. It's always nice, but definitely don't use that when you're running your numbers.
And always add, one of the things that we do is add at least a minimum 5% buffer on what you think the cost is going to be for the rehab. And we run an extra buffer on the holding time, especially like I said, not every market is like this. Everything doesn't fly off the shelf, but when we start seeing some sense of normalcy, you just never know. Some properties you think will sell in 45, 60 days and you end up carrying it for an extra month. So you got to make sure you have the liquidity in order to be able to carry that property.
Awesome, man. So now the property's out of the way, going on to the next one. Do you feel that your wholesaling experience has helped you get more deals into the future, going after these deals, or right now? So Manny, I'm just kind of thinking through now that, we talked about a couple of deals, and obviously you're still doing deals in today's market. So just a thought, the reason I'm going to ask this is because I notice a lot of people, they get frustrated with the wholesale deals coming to their inbox. And, we always say, Marcus and I are like, hey, learn what the wholesalers do, learn the marketing, learn the negotiation skills, right? Add them to your fix and flip business so you can go get the deals yourself. Do you feel that your wholesale experience has helped you during the deals you've been doing?
Yeah, it definitely has, for sure. I would say one thing is like the connections that I've developed with legit wholesalers who bring good deals to the table. I've purchased them from them. I would say one of my biggest resources is agents that, I've had relationships with over, the years. And, when I say that, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'm calling someone off their MLS off their property. It's not just that, it's like much deeper. Like a lot of these agents that are giving me deals, I've done multiple deals over the years with. It's like, get to know these people, build a relationship, like know their family, like what they like doing for fun in their spare time, like really just build on that. And that builds trust in like a really good relationship. It's not just like, I'm a cash buyer and I want to buy your property, right? So
love it. So I always say, real estate 80% this is all relationships, right? So you don't have some huge marketing budget running all month. You're just finding these deals from these pocket listings or these inside relationships that you're cultivating.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Wow, that's great, man. Good for you.
Yeah, that's good. Because a lot of people, they figure, well, I got to spend $10,000, $15,000 a month to get a deal, in order to fix and flip, but you're doing it just based off relationships. And it's funny that you say that. I was listening to a gentleman, he's in San Diego, and he's finding deals. That's his marketing channel, is he's just going out, networking, meeting realtors, having lunch, everything like that. And he's finding deals, and he's, closing, 2 or I think it was like 4 deals a month just from doing that in these markets.
It's huge because, especially as like all three of us, we've known each other a while, you like to do deals with each other. You like to make money with each other, right? So, like I had, a meeting today, and the gentleman's an agent. He's doing really well, right? Closing deals. And he wants to, beef up his marketing, and he's trying to think of other things he can do, which is great. But just listening to the story, he's a connector, right? Like he's very personal, funny. Go grab a drink with him and, shoot the crap with him, just talk and whatever. It's just so personable. And he does things like hobbies, right? So he's a part of clubs, he's a part of like all these experiences that he likes to do in his life, and he makes friends in all those areas. And that's where all the business comes from. I'm just like, you just need to do that even more, you know, connect even more, right? It's so you can make a living just doing that, man. So I'm glad you're doing that.
Absolutely. So Manny, real quick, what's next, man? What are you currently working on?
So yeah, right now, I just finished that flip in Mesa that went really well.
So kind of recap that real quick. Give us the numbers. Let us know where you are in the process on that one, because everybody followed that. So just to give them some numbers.
Awesome. Yeah. So we purchased that about 3 months ago for $333,000. It was an advanced cosmetic rehab. So, we did the floor, paint, interior and exterior, kitchen, bath, flooring, all that type of stuff. And then, we thought initially, well, the rehab was $60K, and we thought initially that we'd probably be in mid 400s. But when we put it on the market, one sold that hadn't been rehab for $490, and then ours was rehab, so we said let's put it at $499, and then hopefully create a bidding war, right? And that's literally what happened. We got 5 offers, and we accepted the one at $520. So
okay, perfect. So
and where you guys at? Did you guys finish all the videos, or?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we're
awesome.
done. So they can go to YouTube, AZREIA YouTube, and see all of those videos of that flip. So great job, Manny. Thank you, man, for allowing us to go on that journey with you. And we're definitely going to do some more of those also. So currently, what's next, man?
Yeah, so currently we have one in Gilbert that we got, downtown Gilbert. We're thinking about turning it into an Airbnb.
How did you find it?
Yeah, so that's one that was, again, through agent investor friend of mine. He bought it to me, said, if you, I might want to do an Airbnb with this one, but I'm not sure. I might want to flip it. Then we ran some numbers, and we're like, based on the proximity of this property, how close it is to, downtown Gilbert, where there's all this stuff to do, we thought it would make sense as a long-term hold. So it's a post-possession with the current seller for about 30 more days. So we'll probably go in there in about 30 days and get in there with a contractor and start, creating a game plan for, how we're going to rehab the property.
Okay. And guys, and Manny, I think we talked about that one, right? We're going to follow you through that one.
Yeah, for sure. It's most likely it will be an Airbnb. And if we do, for sure, or even if it's a flip, we'll definitely go through the whole process with that one again. I think that'll be
cool.
Yeah.
So you guys will be able to follow us as we do this quote unquote downtown Gilbert flip / Airbnb. So you can follow us on YouTube for that as well. So you're doing that one. Mike, anything you want to interject?
No, man, I'm just having a good conversation.
All right. So if you guys want to learn more about fixing and flipping and things like that, you need to come to the Fix and Flip subgroup. The next one is Wednesday, April 27th. And Mike, what's the address to AZREIA? The new AZREIA location?
Well, the Fix and Flip.
Oh, that's going to be at a different location.
Yeah, so always go to azreia.org/calendar, right? And just double check where the event is. Yes, all the subgroups. We have a new office over here on 16th Street in Highland, Central Phoenix. So that's where 90% of the meetings are going to be. But Bob Gomez's Fix and Flip group is Wednesday, April 27th. He holds that in Scottsdale. So I don't have the address off the top of my head, but check the calendar.
All right. And for you guys, Bob Gomez has been a part of AZREIA since the beginning.
Started.
Yeah, since the beginning. And he has over 30 years of experience in the real estate market here in Arizona. So it's a great person to learn from, great person to listen to, and great area to network.
Yep. Definitely is. I check out Bob's class every month. So what else we got here? If you go to Bob's class, don't you, Manny?
Yeah, I would say once every few months I do go, yeah.
Cool. You also swing by PREC, Phoenix Real Estate Club. That's the 4th Tuesday of every month. We talk about everyone's live deals. I know you always come through and have something to share with us. We do the I Want, I Have session. We do the market update. This is kind of the place where, I Want, I Have. What else did I say? Market, power networking. Yeah, this is where we usually the monthly meeting that we do on the second Monday, we have a big market discussion presentation. But here at the Prec, we'd like to talk about, have more of a discussion, have the members chime in on their thoughts, what they're seeing, what they're feeling in the market. So try to check out Prec April 26th, and it's Tuesday this month.
So, and real quick about Prec, and Mike, you were sharing this with me because I wasn't there last month, is that deals are actually getting done there. You know, you had an experience where a couple of deals were closed. Actually, Manny, you was able to pick up something from Prec in St. Louis, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a property that was being condemned in St. Louis. And, you know, David Nielsen, the hard money lender that I used, you know, brought it to my attention. And, you know, I know other investors that wanted a property, you know, for either a rental or flip. So, you know, I was able to get under contract and wholesale it for a price that was pretty crazy considering the current market to get a house, 2-bedroom, one bath house, 900 square feet for $1,000 is pretty crazy.
So what'd you sell it for?
A buck a foot. Huh?
Oh yeah, I sold it for $6.
Love it. So that exactly is all the AZREIA events, and especially the Phoenix Real Estate Club, because, you know, there's a lot of active investors as our members, and they're not wholesalers, right? They don't have large cash buyers. So, but like yourself, you have these agents filling your pipeline up with deals, but sometimes you buy one, life happens, or maybe you don't want to take it down, and people just come to the group to say, hey, I have this deal and I don't want it. Ron, a longtime member, 2 months ago said, hey, I have a fire damaged property, don't want it. It's too much for me to take on. I already bought it. If you're a wholesaler and you want to blast it out, let's talk. And one person reached out to him. I should have done it myself. And they made $4K just by showing up, you know? So that type of stuff is always happening at our meeting. So
when is that again? When is Prec again, Mike?
It's the fourth Tuesday of the month, April 26th, here at the office.
Okay. And just lastly, before we wrap up, Monday, April 11th from 5:45 to 8 p.m. What do we have going on, Mike?
We got Mark Zimmon at Zone of Law, one of our business associates. He's going to give a 45-minute presentation on fair housing. So definitely recommend landlords, everyone to check it out, real estate agents. And then we're also going to have the director, Gina, the director of the Phoenix Housing Authority, show up and talk about Section 8, homelessness and affordable housing. So that's going to be a good presentation as well. So if you make it, join us.
Perfect. Manny, I know we'll see you around. We'll see you there. Mike, as always, love to be in your presence, man. Love to be in your presence.
Yeah, likewise.
You got that light glowing right over you, man, like it's a halo.
Oh, wrong hand. Yeah. Cool, man.
So, anything else before we sign off here? We're at our point of disconnection.
Manny, how do we get hold of you?
I just want to say a few things, especially for, you know, what we were talking about before, the people who want to get into real estate investing, but, you know, they're kind of holding off, and, you know, they have these maybe self-sabotaging, you know, ideas about, you know, what can happen, or like I'll fail or whatever. I would just say that, you know, if you just go out there and you're consistent and persistent with your action, you know, you network, because you know what they say, your network is your net worth, right? And then you just, you're always a lifelong learner. Don't think you know everything, and just don't give up. Like you'll do fine. It'll be good.
Perfect.
Yep. Love the words. How do people get a hold of you, send you deals, or?
On social media, I am on Instagram. My Instagram is Manny, that's MANNY _Simeus, SIM as in money, EUS. And then you can always contact me. My number is 520-370-9600.
Love it. Thank you for sharing.
All right. Thank you, Manny. We really appreciate it. AZREIA family, thank you once again for enjoying a wonderful show with Manny Simeus and our executive director, Mike Del Preet. If you need any additional information about AZREIA, always feel free to go to AZREIA.org. That's AZREIA.org. And also remember to go to AZREIA.org/calendar for all of our upcoming events, where you can always find someone to network with and get a deal done. So signing off, I'm Marcus Maloney.
Mike Del Preet.
Manny
Simeus. Have a good day.
You gotta give us heads up, man.
Thanks for listening to the AZREIA Show with your hosts, Marcus Maloney and Mike Del Preet. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you found this information valuable, head over to AZREIA.org and learn more about our community.